Hey guys, welcome to another episode of AB in the Films, The Final Five. Pulp Fiction. Oh my god, I got so many things to say about this movie and so little time to talk about it. Okay, I'm just going to talk about the first time I saw it. The first time I saw Pulp Fiction, it was on YouTube, and someone edited this movie, and I didn't know this at the time. They edited the movie in order. I don't know how they did that. I don't know how that was done, but yeah, they took the movie and they redid it in order, and I thought it was good in the beginning, but it sucked towards the end, and I hated it. I thought it was ridiculous and stupid. Then I saw it again on television, but it was censored and, you know, all that crap that television does. And it was a totally different movie, and I loved it, and I said, well, what the hell did I see on YouTube? And over time, I realized that someone had re-edited the movie. Well, when I saw it on television, I said, okay, I had to get this movie on DVD or watch it uncensored because I had to see this whole movie in its entirety without anything being cut out. And I finally bought the movie, and what I've learned from this is, first of all, I remember I bought this like 2 years ago, and when I first saw this movie, I was blown away. I loved every shot of this movie. These characters, I have never seen a movie where the characters are moving a movie with dialogue. Instead of all the dialogue that pushes the plot, what these characters are saying, I mean, it's like, this is the kind of dialogue you never hear in a movie. I mean, it's like, it's unbelievable, this film. Again, a lot of people are turned off by it because of all the violence and, you know, all that stuff. They say that it's too violent. People, you have to look past that, okay? You have to look past the violence, okay? This honestly, guys, is one of my favorite movies. This movie turned me into a Tarantino fan, a huge Quentin Tarantino fan. This is the only movie I own from him, but I love all his films. And just to let you guys know, if you haven't seen this movie, or if you have and you don't own it, get the collector's edition. I'm telling you right now, because this thing comes with so many extras. It comes with the Siskel and Ebert review. Okay? I mean, come on. At least, like, get this, alright? But still, Pulp Fiction is my number 5 favorite film. You know, it brought John Travolta back after, you know, his shitty films that he did in the 80s. It brought him back because everyone forgot about Fever and Grease. It's just a really, really good movie. Samuel L. Jackson. It's got one of the most famous catchphrases in the movie. In fact, it's got a couple of catchphrases in this film. But those of you who've seen it, you know what it is. Go see this movie. It's a really, really good one. Number 4. The Social Network. Now, when I heard that Hollywood was going to make a movie about Facebook, my first thought was, okay, I'm convinced. Hollywood has officially run out of ideas. They have nothing left. They're going to make a movie about Facebook. But when I heard it was going to be how Facebook was created, I was like, oh, well, that's different. And when I saw the preview for this movie, I didn't know what it was. And, you know, let me just say something. Is it me, or when you saw the preview for The Social Network, I'm talking about the theatrical trailer when they have that choir singing. When you saw the beginning of this trailer, we didn't know what it was. We just saw Facebook pictures. When you saw that, did you think it was a horror movie? Because there's a shot in that opening trailer when it says, "Where are you?" You know, and then you see a picture of some girl freaking out. Like, didn't you think it was a horror movie? But then it says Harvard University 2003, and we're like, oh, we know what it is. But seriously, watch that trailer again and look at that opening. It feels like a horror movie, you know? Or at least it did to me when I first saw it, because I didn't know what that movie was when I first saw the trailer. But The Social Network is definitely, this is one of the best films I've seen. And what really amazed me about this movie is this is a movie that you can watch. You don't need to know what Facebook is in order to enjoy this movie. It is so much. It is just unbelievably awesome. I just love this movie so much. David Fincher, one of my favorite directors, the guy who's done Panic Room and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I'm looking forward to that movie. I'm so looking forward to that movie. But he's done a lot of great films. This is definitely one of my favorites. Andrew Garfield as Eduardo Savern. I can't wait to see him in The Amazing Spider-Man. I think he's brilliant in this movie. Jesse Eisenberg as Mark Zuckerberg. Oh, man, it's great. And this was a movie where I actually thought that Justin Timberlake didn't do that bad of a job as an actor. He can act. He's not He's not that bad. I don't know, much like everyone else, I don't know when he's going to have a new album out, but yeah, he's actually pretty good in The Social Network. Still, Social Network, I have to get this on double disc. I have to, because it's one of my favorites. But definitely, Social Network totally deserves a number 4 spot. Number 3. Jaws. If you're into making movies, and if you're into working with actors and you want to get behind the camera and all that stuff, if you want to go into film, that's the basic line here. If you want to go into film, this movie must have inspired you, because I'm pretty sure this film has inspired so many filmmakers, because it has for me. Okay, I'm not a filmmaker yet. I'm not a professional, but this movie has inspired me in so many ways. Not just because it's a great movie, okay, and this was the first film I ever saw from Spielberg. Well, actually, no, E.T. was the first one, but this was the second one. This is the one where I really got involved into film. Let me give you the gist of when I first saw this movie, okay? First of all, I hate to say it, but I own it on VHS. I don't own it on DVD yet, but I want to get this on DVD. My dad showed me that movie when it came on back in, I was about 7 years old. And it came with 2 tapes. The first tape was the movie, and the second tape was the making. When I saw the making, I was blown away by how they made that movie. First of all, this was a film that almost didn't get made. It took 2 years into development because the shark wasn't working. This mechanical shark wasn't working, okay? Back in the 70s, kids, computers didn't exist, so you had to do everything, you know, with your hands instead of by computers. But still, I mean, the shark in this movie is way better than the shark in Shark Night 3D. That movie sucked, by the way. But in this film, you know, Spielberg, he said he had a lot of problems with it. The movie almost didn't get made. He almost was this close to getting fired a few times. And, you know, they're showing you real footage of the people building the shark. And this thing that everyone's been afraid of for the last 40 years, this is what it is. It's just cardboard and machines in it, and they're building a skeleton. It was just unbelievably cool to see that. And it really got me into making movies, and it made me make a movie called Shark Death. I didn't copy anything from Jaws. It was my own story about a shark. It never got finished. Those of you who were involved, you know exactly what happened. I don't want to talk about it. But definitely Jaws is number 3 on the list. This is one of the most influential films I have ever seen. Well, for me, of course. But yeah, Jaws definitely deserves number 3 spot. Number 2. Michael Jackson's This Is It. Okay, now I know all of you are saying, oh, you're a Michael Jackson fan, that doesn't count, that's not a good movie, come on. We know you're an MJ fan, so shut up already. Okay, yes, that's true, I am an MJ fan. But this movie has inspired me as a director. Let me explain. The editing in this movie blew my mind away when I first saw this. Okay, now when I found out that Sony was going to do a movie on the King of Pop after his death, I initially thought, okay, they're obviously going to get body doubles and everything because, you know, Sony screws Michael Jackson in so many ways, and they're going to screw him long after he's gone, alright? So obviously, this is the starting process. They're going to do a movie here. But I found out it's not any body doubles, and a lot of people said that, but that is not true. This is all Michael Jackson, the real Michael Jackson. And when I walked in this movie, my original thought was this movie isn't going to be any good. The only reason this is out is because he died. They're putting this together because it was the last footage of him. It was days before his death. We're not going to hear the whole song because it's rehearsals, you know. We're going to hear more talking because it was categorized as a documentary, so, you know. And I walked in, and, you know, it starts out with the dancer. No spoiler alerts for anyone who hasn't seen it. If you haven't seen it yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. Go see it. And they start with the dancers talking about them just getting the job. But then there's the shot where Wanna Be Starting Something comes on. And you see Michael on stage, and then the camera goes like this. And it says, MJ's This Is It. And right at that point, I was hooked. I was hooked, and he starts singing Wanna Be Starting Something. And people, I'm not lying here, people got out of their seats in the theaters and they were dancing. I have never seen that before in the theaters. Never in my life. They got up and they started dancing. I swear to God they were doing that. It was so cool to see that. It almost felt like that we were at a concert. It didn't feel like I was in a movie theater. It felt like we were at the This Is It tour. Sorry, I couldn't think of the name for a second there. Ironic, isn't it? But anyway, yeah, like the movie. But the editing in this movie has really, really influenced me, because to have him sing the whole song all the way through and have him wearing different outfits. Like in one shot, he'll be standing over here, and then he turns around and he's wearing a different outfit from a different day, but he's right at that midpoint in the song, and he keeps on singing. It was just unbelievable to see that. And they do this for every single song. Well, not every single song, but most of them, okay? And that influenced me to do the Camden Catholic shows that you guys know. Arsenic and Old Lace, The Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, you know, setting the camera up in different angles. Blame that movie, because This Is It influenced me to do that, and I treat it. And if you watch This Is It, and if you watch the Camden Catholic shows, you'll see the comparison. You will see it, because it's there. I've done it, you know. And even for The Man Who Came to Dinner and Grease, I did it for those movies also. I even did it for 13. I did it for all the stage productions. But yeah, watch This Is It, and you'll see. Like, this movie is really good. If you're not a Michael Jackson fan, you're probably not gonna like this movie. If you are a Michael Jackson fan, you've probably already seen this movie 1,000 times, like I have. I have to own this, people. And here we go. The moment you've all been waiting for. The #1 film is... Say it with me here, folks. The Sound of Music. I don't know why, but this film has it all. Comedy, romance, drama, action. It has almost every single genre in this film. Musical. It's everything you want in a movie. This movie, first of all, this is childhood to me, this film. I've been watching this movie ever since I was maybe 2 years old. It's my father's favorite film. It's my favorite film of all time. It will always be my favorite film of all time. But The Sound of Music, oh my god, it's just so brilliant in so many ways. And let me give you the story here, if you guys aren't familiar with the story, unless you've been living under a rock, okay? No offense. It's been around for quite some time, okay, people? Julie Andrews is a nun in practicing, and she goes to take care of these 7 children and their father, Captain Von Trapp. And while she's over there, she realizes she's just going to leave in a few days and that'll be it. But she ends up falling for the captain. Okay, and obviously you know what's going to happen there. But it takes place in Salzburg, Austria in the late 30s. So you kind of know what's happening there. It's not a World War II movie, but the Hitler stuff doesn't come in until like the last maybe 30-40 minutes of the film. But the first 2.5, but at least the first 2 hours of this movie are just unbelievably awesome. I'm not saying the last part isn't good. I love every bit of this movie. I love the songs in this. I love my favorite scene as a kid. I have never told this to anyone, but my favorite scene in this movie is the scene where they do the Lonely Goat Herd puppet show. That was always my favorite part as a kid. I remember singing that all the time when I was a kid. That was my favorite scene in the movie. Still is, actually. But anyway, those are my top 20 favorite films. And keep watching, because next time I'm going to do the top 10 worst films of 2011. See you guys later.